Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Todoist series. My name is Carl Pullein, and this week I am going to show you what's going on with Todoist's new free version. Now, what Todoist are doing is something quite opposite to what the rest of the industry likes to do. Instead of taking away features in the free version, Todoist are actually adding features. So in the past, you've not had access to things like labels or filters or notes and comments. Well, perhaps right now, if you take a closer look, you do have access to those features. So I'm going to run through those new features in this week's video. Now, before we go any further, I would just like to say, if you do get any value from this video, then please help me by clicking on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, and you want to get all the latest tips, tricks, and news on using Todoist, then please subscribe to my channel. Okay, let me take you into Todoist help pages now and show you and explain all the new features you're going to find with Todoist free version. Okay, so let's just go through the great news. There's some bad news, but let's start with the good news. The good news is you can now add 300 tasks per project. Come on, guys, if you've got 300 tasks in any project, you've got serious problems and you need to re-look at that. But anyway, if you really like to have hundreds of tasks in a project, then you can have now 300. You can also start adding comments and files, which was not there before, which can be really helpful for clarifying projects and adding additional information. But for me, the biggest thing with the new free version is you will now be able to use labels. Now, personally, I don't use labels, but for those people who are in a very communicative work role, so for example, you have a lot of emails to deal with, you have phone calls to make, and you've got Slack and whatever else messages popping at you all day, labels can be really useful because it will help you to filter out those tasks. Speaking of filters, you now also can use filters, but only up to 3. But fair enough, I mean, 3 filters, with that you can build some pretty good workflows using filters and the favorites section. Activity history, this is where you can actually go back and look at what you have done for up to a week. So if you're doing a weekly planning session and you want to go back and just look at what you've covered that week, then you can do that. You can now gain access to the integrations, which includes the Google Calendar synchronization, completed tasks archive, so you can look at those, forwarding emails as tasks, so now you can actually forward an email and you can use your personalized email to that particular project or even inbox. And of course, you can see your templates. You now have access to templates and productivity trends. So those are the really good news. That's the good news about the new Todoist free version. Now for the bad news. The bad news is that you are now going to be limited to 5 active projects. So you are only going to be limited. At the moment, you could have almost unlimited number of projects, but you are now going to be restricted to 5. Now, I've looked into this, and one of the things is if you're using the free version currently and you have, say, 15 or 20 tasks, one of the things that Todoist are going to do is they're not going to remove. So here we go. If you look at this one here, they're not going to remove the tasks. So no, if you want to add new projects in the free version, you can archive 11 projects until you only have 4 active projects. If you still need more projects, you should consider going to the Todoist Premium. So what's not going to happen is, don't worry, you will not lose any of your projects that have more than 5, but you will not be allowed to add any additional projects until you remove those, 14 of them, for example, not 14, but 11 of those tasks. So remember, you're not going to lose all your projects when we make this change completely, which presumably will be done by the 29th by the end of this month, that's April 2021. But you want to just keep that in mind. So maybe you might want to change the name of a project, but perhaps that's not what Todoist want you to do. But that's just something that you want to keep in mind. You are going to be limited to 5 projects, but that doesn't mean that they're going to move those projects when they change. You're not going to lose them. The other thing to keep in mind is if you really do need more, you can actually use sections, and you can go up to 20 sections per project. So overall, you're going to have a lot more new features. So to me, the benefits of having access to the filters, the notes, the comments, and the labels is certainly going to offset the negative side of only being able to have 5 active projects. And just to keep in mind that the price of Todoist is still going to be no more than $30 a year. I think it is. It's $29.99, or maybe it's $30 now, or $35. But it's anyway, whatever. It is definitely less than $50 a year. And so I still think that Todoist represents an incredible value for money, and they're not going away anytime soon, so you're going to be pretty safe with that. So for those of you on the free version of Todoist, watch out over the next few weeks. You're going to start seeing some changes. You're going to start having the ability to use labels and a limited number of filters. So you're going to be able to, and also, by the way, you can actually start sharing some of your projects with up to 5 people, which is another feature that you may wish to take advantage of. So there you go. That's just a quick overview of the new features in the free version. The pro version is going to change from Todoist Premium, and it's going to become Todoist Pro. Kind of simplifies it a little bit, but just to keep in mind, those are the changes coming to the free version. It's really, really excellent service that they're providing us there. And if you want to have access to everything, then you are going to be able to upgrade to the new Todoist Pro, which actually doesn't change from Todoist Premium. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching this video, and it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week.